Fazzoletti translates to little hankies, and it's actually a crepe that we're going to fold over to look like a little pocket hanky. In other parts of Italy, this is called crespelle. In other parts of Italy, this is called pezzole delle nonne. So, you see what I mean? There's just so many words to describe so many foods. So, you can call it fazzoletti, you can call it crespelle, you can call it pezzole delle nonne, whatever you want to call it. Here's how you make it. So you want to start with 2 whole eggs and an egg yolk in a bowl. And you whisk those up till they're fluffy, broken up. And what I'm going to do for you today with the batter, because this turns out to be a batter, is that I'm going to make one dough, one batter rather, but I'm going to show you 2 ways to use it. One, a savory way, and one, a sweet way. So there are our eggs, and now we want a pinch of salt, a grinding of nutmeg, some melted butter, about a tablespoon of melted butter. Get that all beat in. And it's best to make this batter ahead of time. Let it rest overnight in the refrigerator. It should have the consistency of pancake batter. So now you're going to need about 1½ to 1 3/4 cups of milk, or a little bit or a little less, just depending on the flour. So I'm going to put some milk in first. So to be on the safe side, I would say between 1½ and 2 cups of flour, and 1½ to 1 3/4 cups of flour. So let's put a little flour in and get that going. So we've all made pancakes, so we know what pancake batter is supposed to be like. And I know that that's just too thin. So add a little bit more. And that's looking a little too thick. So we're going to add some milk. And out of a batter like this, you can make about 24. So after you've made a bunch of these, you'll know exactly what the consistency should be. So what happens here is, once you've got it all fluid, it should be like pancake batter, see? Like that. Then you want to cover it, put it in the refrigerator, go to bed. Next day, you're ready to make these. So the first thing you do is butter the pan. Okay? Not soak it with butter, but just lightly butter the pan. Then, getting that heat up a little bit. When the butter starts to sizzle a little bit, you can swirl it around in your pan. Then you can add your crepe batter, see? And what you want to do is, you need to swirl it a little bit. Just swirl it a little bit till it makes a nice circle. You can press the pan a little bit like that, shake the pan. So now you have to let this cook until that sets up, and you'll know it's ready when this is firm on the top, and you can flip it to the other side. All right, so you can see it's starting to firm up, and it's moving as one unit. So you turn it over because you want to have that nice brownish look to it. You cook it a little bit on the other side. Then you have, as I say, a plate handy. Okay? And then you just put it on that. Then you cover it with another sheet of wax paper, and you continue on. So you may have to, in between, just brush the pan a little bit. And so this batter will make at least 24. But then what we have to do is make the different fillings that we're going to use for this, because I did tell you I'm going to do one that's savory for you and one that's sweet. So that's the beauty of using this dough. You could do 2 different things with it. So it's setting up here. We don't want to turn it yet because I can tell it's still wet. We have to just wait until we can turn the whole thing, and then we just continue on like that. Now that we've made the Fazzoletti, crespelle, pezzole delle nonne, we are going to work on the filling, the savory filling. And for that, we want cheese. And I mean really good Italian imported cheeses. So here we have two wonderful cheeses. We have Asiago, which comes from, of course, Asiago in the Veneto, northern Italy. This is a cow's milk cheese. Very nutty flavor, it's delicious. And it's great as a melting cheese as well as an eating cheese. And here we have the Fontina cheese. This is from the Val d'Aosta area of Italy, and it is a DOP cheese. And you can also notice that here we have a browned rind. So when you go to the grocery store and you're looking for Fontina cheese, if it has a red rind, that is not Italian Fontina. You'll know it by the browned rind. This is also a cow's milk cheese, and it's a lot softer than the cow's milk Asiago, which is also a DOP cheese. So we want a half a cup of each of those. And then with it, we have some Provolone cheese. Provolone is a southern Italian cheese, cow's milk cheese that is now made really in the north of Italy. So I've got that grated, so I'm going to add that. And now we're ready to make the filling. To make the sauce, you want to melt 6 tablespoons of butter in a deep pot because you're going to add a lot of milk to this. And you're going to make a roux. A roux means a paste, and we want here a blonde roux. We don't want a brown roux. Brown roux would mean that you would cook the flour until it turned color. Here we want to keep the flour really blonde. So we have 3/4 of a cup of flour that we are going to whisk into the butter. Whisk that into the butter till it's all combined. And do not worry if it starts to look a little lumpy. It's all going to straighten out in the end. So once you have it all mixed like that, you can start adding the milk, and you need 6 cups. So get your 6 cups of milk in. And with this, we're going to add some nutmeg. So a grinding of nutmeg goes in, as much as you would like. I like nutmeg in this. And of course, a little bit of salt. Okay, and now we whisk. We whisk, we sing a song until this gets thick. Now this milk mixture is really starting to thicken up. See, look, it's starting to coat the back of a spoon. So when it does that, you know that that's the time to add the cheeses. So here are all the cheeses. And now we whisk them in over medium-low heat, and that's going to thicken this sauce even further. Once all the cheese is melted, then we can put the Fazzoletti, the crespelle, the pezzole della nonne together. So here's how this goes. You have a casserole dish that's buttered, okay? And then you just start with those crespelle that you made. I'm going to take some of that filling and spread it, see, right on the crepe. All around, because you're going to put some of this over the top as well. And then, to get the Fazzoletti, crespelle, pezzole della nonne look, you fold the crepe over, or the fazzoletto, and you fold it again like that, see? And you put it in your bake pan. Now you want to do this so that they're overlapping one another. And by the way, did I mention that you could also make these crespelle ahead of time, and you can put them between wax paper and freeze them. And then when you want to put this together, all you have to do is make the filling. So don't go all the way to the edge because you don't want that to ooze out. Fold it again. And that's where it gets its name, because it looks like a little hanky, you know? So just overlap. And you keep going like this until you have a whole pan full. And 2 of these is a serving. I would serve this as a first course. But there are people who would say, that's what I'm having for dinner with a salad. So now we have them ready to go. And we take some of this cheese sauce and pour it right over the top, or spread it over the top. See? Your oven is on at 350 degrees, and you're going to bake these for about 20 minutes or so, just until they start to look a little crusty on the top. They're very delicate. Beautiful. And then we want to put some grated Parmigiano-Reggiano over the top. So we've got 4 cheeses in here. The Fontina, the Asiago, the Provolone, and the grated Parmigiano-Reggiano. Naturally, we need a little bit of butter, right? So just a little drizzle of butter. 350.